Welcome to the Cashflow Project podcast. Are you looking to better your financial situation by increasing your cash flow? Too busy to hunt for real estate deals or don't know where to start? Then you're in the right spot. Join us as we dive in and talk about investing for cash flow using multifamily real estate.
Welcome to the Cashflow Project podcast. I'm your host, Steve Fieros with Tri-City Equity Group. Excited for another episode this week. So today we've got Dr. Jon Randall on the show. So Dr. Jon is a founder of Extraordinary Financial Advisors, XFA. It's a consulting firm that helps establish financial advisors helps them scale smarter and with less stress. So you can definitely help on the business side of things. He's got over 25 years of experience. I know he doesn't look it, guys. He looks amazing. I know we're not going to talk about his age, but he looks awesome for his age. I told him I love his hair. But he's got over 25 years of experience as a top producing advisor and industry consultant. Dr. Jon understands internal constraints and stall growth for business owners, and his firm has helped hundreds of advisors go from $250,000 to $10 million plus, overcome operational bottlenecks, optimize capacity, unlock sustainable profitability. He's the creator of XFA Growth Workflow. He's got a book as well, the author of The Extraordinary Financial Advisor Practice. And his method focuses on three key constraints that limit advisor growth. So if you're in the financial advisor space, this is definitely somebody you want to tune into. But again, he's got lots of experience as an investor, as a business owner, and we're all about cash flow on our podcast here. And so I know he can provide tons of value. So Dr. Jon, excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Steve. I love your podcast. I'm a fan. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your day and hopping on with us and the listeners. And I know we're going to have a great time. For those of our listeners that may not be familiar with it, obviously give a little bit of your bio. Fill us in on a little bit of your backstory. How did you get started in where you are now with, obviously you got the doctor in the title. Most financial advisors that I think I've ever interacted with haven't gone to that extent. It sounds like you've maybe had some twists and turns in your career. Fill us in a little bit of your backstory. How did you get to where you are now with XFA?
Yeah, I stumbled into all this, though many people do. So my dad had a friend who was a financial advisor growing up. I thought it was pretty cool. He talked to people and helped them out and made a pretty good living straight out of college. My wife was from New York. We moved to New York and started helping people. And it was interesting from that perspective, seeing people that build wealth, how they build wealth, either through their business or through their job. And we got a taste of passive income when we moved to North Carolina, where we live now. So we spent 5 years in New York from 99 to 2004. But when we moved, real estate's so expensive in New York. It's insane. So we moved to North Carolina, and I'm actually I took over one of the condos that we own down here because they were insanely cheap to buy. So we were like, oh my gosh, we're going to have this really old house in New York or have 6 condos for even less. Yeah. We lived in one and rented others out. And it was a taste of, now I see what the clients I worked with, what they were doing. So it was a kind of a taste into that. And as I moved, I stumbled into this consulting business. Because people in North Carolina said, hey, what do those big producers do in New York? Would you show me? You're growing so quickly. Would you show me what you're doing? So I started to show other people, and I went all over the country. And it's really fun helping other people. I got a better kick out of helping them get better at their clients because I could only maybe influence hundreds of people. Through them, I could influence thousands, millions of Americans to improve their financial lives. So it was really cool to do that and to help them grow their businesses. But I just got better and better at the formula for how they could grow. And it led to a lot of things. So that's how I stumbled into consulting. And it's interesting how that's opened the door to other passive investor things. But one tip I would say that I got I work with Alex Ramosi in acquisition.com. And one thing Alex talks about is a lot of times entrepreneurs or people just try and build random income things, but they don't have the main thing that builds the revenue, the profits, the funds to be able to invest in all these other things. So the one advice I would have for people out there is that whatever you have, build the heck out of that. And when that glass spills over, just so much water, so much profits, then invest in these other things. But I think people do it too early and it's not that great. Dabbled in real estate, not at your level, don't have enough doors in my little dabbling of rental real estate. So when you have an apartment complex versus 6 little condos, it's all a totally different game. It's so much easier. It's a lot less risk when you have more doors. So it's a lot of this dabbling that people try and do. And, it's a get rich quick. Or I heard someone did this. Heard someone bought a place and did Airbnb. I think just be really good at whatever you're going to do. build a ton of assets through that, and then use some of those assets to invest in things that will produce passive income. And we can get into some of what those are, but for a journey, a lot of times we stumble into where we got today. I think all of us do, but what you do, you should be strategic about and patient about, and not chase the shiny new objects, which most humans do.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's funny that you mentioned that about the accidental link into the consulting. And I think that is the way most of us end up kind of doing what we do. You met very few people who are like, you know what, I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid and ended up going to med school, and I'm a doctor now. Okay, great. Awesome. I think there's fewer and fewer people probably that end up doing that. A lot of times that comes with a ton of guidance from parents and mentors and whatnot along the way. It could be a projection too. But I think most of us, it's okay. Hey, look, you've got this innate skill set. Everybody has strengths and talents. It's okay. What can you do to exercise and develop those skills, gifts, and talents that are kind of natural to you, and then you kind of slot into where you need to. But I appreciate what you're saying, that, okay, look, if you can apply this framework and kind of know that, I do coaching for individual investors as well, a lot of times, and that's kind of usually some of my first investors is, look, know thyself, know what you're good at, know what you're not. Don't try to, because of course, we've had so many different guests on the show. Hey, you can be from a fix and flipper to a business owner to any and everything in between, commercial operator to a residential guy. And it's, look, if you have a strength in a certain area, do that, hammer that, and go partner for the weaknesses to shore those up. Don't, if your deal is not marketing and you're not a marketer, you don't have to be that guy. Go be something else. Go be the operator, go be the underwriter, go be some other component of the team where you can partner with somebody. And this is the power of leverage. And this is the power also of knowing yourself. And I'm sure a bunch of this is, I don't need to tell you, you probably experienced this going with a lot of coaching clients over the years, but I just see that so frequently. And it's people end up beating themselves in the head because they're trying to do something that, well, they see somebody like Alex Hormozi, who's an amazing entrepreneur, and it's like, I've got to be him. No, who says you have to be? Do you? If you're an expert doctor or a restaurateur or some other component of any other industry, do that, maximize that. And then, just like to your point, then you can spin off alternate sources of income and cash flow and diversify your streams. So people get themselves, I think you're right, and they'll get themselves into trouble. Shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
That looks great. That looks great. Oh, options trading. Okay, I should do that. And, oh, crypto. I need to be a crypto investor.
Yeah.
No, do the thing. Focus on that. When you generate cash flow, now you're going to end up with tax problems. Okay, now we need solutions for that. Okay, awesome. No worries. Just do that. But
those are good problems to have.
Yes. But
Alex said something on your point of shiny new objects. I heard Alex Hormozi say this. And by the way, like, most people in the world would never be willing to do what Alex Hormozi's done to build his businesses. I mean, he has no kids. He works with his wife. Yes. He's like a workaholic. Every day he's working. It's not like he doesn't take weekends off. He is full throttle every day. And I'm not even like exaggerating. That is what it took to build. Jim launched his first business, acquisition.com, and it's really fascinating to see. But most people aren't willing to do that. But something he says about the shiny new objects, which is so true for, I think, entrepreneurs in general, that we have this uninformed optimism that, oh my gosh, this is going to be, if I invest in crypto, it's going to be amazing. And it has to do with our psychology, just how we are as humans. We get all excited about, wow, this went up, or it's really great, or hey, this went down, it's really bad. So we have this uninformed optimism, then we get into it, and then we develop this informed pessimism that, oh, geez, this doesn't work. And then they find the next shiny object. And people get caught in this cycle of just, what's the next big thing, the next big thing? Whereas really, you have to really work through whatever your craft is. And I like what you said. You got to know thyself. You got to know what you're good at and surround yourself with other who's, or outsource the gaps that you might have, because there's a small amount of what you do that is really special, and just be really great at that. And don't try and be something you're not, because it's hard. It'll be uncomfortable as a human, but you're probably just not going to be very good at those other things. But there's other people in the world that are, so work with them. Yeah, no, I think it's been it's a recurring theme with some of the most successful people, and I'm sure Alex is this as well, and you as well. I'm sure you've seen this too. It's always, hey, look, fail forward. The most successful people that I've ever met, have been the ones that have not been afraid to try, not been afraid to fail, because they know that the failure is it's not them. It doesn't define them. It's, no, look, they're trying something out. Okay, I need to develop the skill set.
I don't know if I'm good at it yet. It's may fit for what I need to do. Okay, great. I can't be afraid to try, but fail forward. And I had a recent guest on, and it's fail elegantly. If I'm failing, great. I'm playing to my strengths. This looks like it should work. Okay, awesome. Let's move forward in that. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means, hey, whatever strategy, whatever, maybe you need to tweak to it, whatever, maybe the market. Okay, that's okay. You can reevaluate that after you've actually given it a shot. It doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means that whatever that you were trying maybe didn't work in that moment. And so that's okay, but don't be afraid to try. But I've always appreciated that by, again, the most successful people I've ever met. Just if you're not trying, if you're not failing, then I don't know what to tell you guys. You're gonna have to live with those results too.
Very true. Very true. I think the most successful people do go through a lot of failure. And it's how we learn as humans. We learn, hey, I tried this, it didn't work. I'll never do that again. Yep. And if those of us that are lucky enough to have children, or all of us were children at some point, you see when little children learn to walk when they're like around 1 year old, and they fall down a lot. And that's how they figure out, oh, I'm not going to do that again. And they figure out how to walk by those failures. And as we evolve and grow up, it's the same thing. It's the same thing in business, same thing in investing and building what we do, building businesses, building real estate portfolios, whatever it may be, to have that passive income. It's really right there. But I think though, see, a lot of people we work with in my industry, their patience is thin. So they'll try something. If it doesn't work right away, they'll say, this stinks. I'm out of here next. But so if it is a good path and it makes sense, it can be a grind. It can be a grind to make it work and to get there. Some things don't come easily. And it's probably a human nature too, that, gosh, we invested in this thing, we did this thing, it's not working right away, or it's not working at all. It might just take time, right? It might just take time to find the right thing, to work the right thing, to get it the right way. And I see that a lot in businesses, especially in our industry, the financial industry. People start smaller when they come to us. They're typically between $1 million and $1.5 million in revenue almost every time. And they've hit a ceiling. They're like, I want to be the guys that you're working with that have 10 million in revenue, 100 million in revenue. How do I build my business like that? And it's just a different game is all that it is. We just show them how to play a different game. And it's a game they didn't even realize that, okay, the game's about leveraging other people to build passive income in their business instead of them being the grinder that build it to $1 million to 1.5 million, which is such a common ceiling. To get to 10 million, 100 million, it's going to be about other people. And it's an interesting way in a lot of businesses, especially services business, that you can build passive income within your business. It can be investing in other things, other real estate. I've become a fan of investing in other businesses, which we can get into, but just to build your business to have passive income is pretty awesome thing, to not have to work so much and maybe not work at all, and have a ton of profits, ton of cash flow coming in. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great business to build.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. And let's go ahead and dive in there. I think our strategy for like blueprint through us and our partners is always, okay, look, it's businesses that you create. Okay, then that kicks off cash flow that you then park it into tax advantaged assets like real estate, where it's okay, you create this flywheel for yourself and they just feed each other. What business opportunities are you seeing, or what ways have you found that you've been able to help clients, let's say, find cash flow even within their own businesses?
Yeah, a really creative one that's emerged for a lot of our larger businesses that we work with and have larger consulting deals with. The private equity, it's always interesting to follow them. Where are they investing? What are they doing? And they're really big on this financial advisor business. In the independent space, these businesses are growing, or RAs, they're growing like crazy. Also, the tax business too is starting to get some attention, but it's really been a bigger craze in the financial industry. And you look at what they do, that, hey, we're going to invest in this business, take a whatever 20% stake and give them some resources, maybe install one of our people to help really grow and scale this and build it out. It's a very interesting model. And me and my journey, I built up my financial advisor business, was all across North Carolina. And I just fell in love with the consulting and sold it off in pieces. I sold the last bit off in 2017. My wife and I were like, gosh, what do we invest in? The consulting business, it's a cash business. It's not a big equity business unless you're like Alex Hormozi and build it with, it's on autopilot, it's massive amount of revenue, and you're not the main person doing delivery. You can probably have you can sell it if it's big enough. For most consulting business, it's a cash flow business. It can be super profitable. Use that cash flow, you got to invest in somewhere else. So when I got out of the equity, I was like, gosh, I don't have any equity in a business as I sold it. And we invested some in real estate, but I also said, you know what, why don't I invest in some other practices that I know? I know some financial advisor businesses want to say, hey, can I invest in your business? And I'll help you out and we'll help it grow. It was my first taste of, if I invested 20% into 5 different businesses, it's almost like having a business without having to work in it. It's really the case. I've seen some other people dabble into that, and it's really interesting when you get there. So when building passive income, you get that taste of it, and you can really build quite a lot. And now I see how these really large private equity outfits are just absolutely crushing it, because if you got the capital and can make the investment, and you have returns on that investment, oh my gosh, you can just keep compounding and compounding. But it is interesting that you can really scale the work. You don't have to do a ton of work. Just, hey, here's a bunch of money. Here's some advice to help you out. Maybe we'll insert one of our people to go help you out. But it's really fascinating. So I've become a bigger fan of investing in a business. Sure, not hey, this might be some AI startup that has a 1 in a million chance of making it. If you want to do that, awesome. That's great.
Yeah, could be an opportunity there, but the risk of losing, you better be completely okay with losing that capital.
Yeah. But let's say you buy apartment complexes. You're like, you know what? I may be a private equity investor in a couple other of those. And you know that business, you know the metrics, you know that, hey, this is your formulas, this is in a secondary market. I'm going to invest here. I think I can get a big return on it. That's awesome, right? That's awesome. For me, I know the financial advisor business insanely well. It's been my life for 27 years now. And we've helped hundreds and hundreds of practices. I've just seen so many things, probably more than a lot of people in our industry. So by doing that, you learn your craft. And now a lot of these businesses now are buying into tax businesses too, and learning about that craft, whether it's fully buying the business or just being a passive minority partner or being really a private equity investor. It's a really interesting way for anyone out there, whatever business you're in or whatever industry you're in, just think if there's opportunities there. Because if you invest 10% into 10 different businesses or 20% into 5 different businesses, you have a business without having to work it. It's not a bad play.
Yeah. No, I frequently talk with, and I've heard a bunch, and there's, again, investing in businesses, investing effectively, what you're doing is investing, you want to look for, and you can probably chime in on this, you're investing in operators, because you want to have operators that know what they're doing. Obviously, you want a business that is reputable and known, and it's a known quantity. It's actually providing value. You don't want to, so you do your research, of course. I know right now, energy is a big play. But yeah, private credit, there's all kinds of opportunities. And that's, if you take nothing else away from our conversation to our listeners or to people queuing in, there's opportunity everywhere.
You're right.
I feel like you actually almost have to work harder to not see opportunity, because once your eyes are tuned in for it, it is literally all over the place. It's not just in the Carolinas, where Dr. John is at. It's not just in Honolulu, where I'm at. We have literally invested all over the country. There's opportunities in different countries. So, and you don't have to invest in your own backyard, but I guarantee you there's opportunity in your own backyard. Maybe not your literal backyard, although maybe there is opportunity in your little backyard, but I want you to make sure, for our listeners, if you're just kind of watching in, Steve, I don't know where to start. Oh, Dr. John, that sounds amazing, but I don't think I can do that in my market. No. Guaranteed, there is opportunity for you in your market or wherever it is that you look. You just kind of have to have eyes to see it and eyes to be able to identify the opportunity. And so that's kind of more.
You really do. And I think it's tied to what we know in where we are. It's there. I'll tell a great story about a client that we had that got into a really great passive income business. So he was a really teeny financial advisor back when we had that economic downturn around 2008. And he was thinking, his wife was working with them. It was just 2 of them. They didn't have kids yet. And they were thinking, oh my gosh, we might have to sell one of our 2 cars just to survive. And
you're going to say, sell one of the kids. I was like, oh man,
No. So he was just an awesome implementer. He did all the things we talked about. He really followed our system and implemented and really 10x'd his business all organically, no acquisitions. He 10x'd his business all organically in about 7 years. And he just got burnt out. He had 2 kids by then, and he was working a lot. He was starting to miss stuff. He said, you know what, I think I'm going to want to be out. And so he's down in the South Houston area near NASA, but it's oil and gas. We have a lot of financial advisors that are just big clients for ours that just have massive oil and gas clients down at like all around the coast. And I hear you, oil and gas is a big business. It was an interesting play. But this guy sold, but he went to college a small college up in Oklahoma. And so what he had his eyes set on was, you know what, my wife's going to be a real estate agent. and I'm going to sell my business, sold it for 8 figures. And he started to invest in apartment complexes in what he calls secondary markets. So this small town where the university's up and coming town, because Houston, Dallas, insane prices. It's out of control.
Yeah.
So he went into these smaller places that he knew. Say, hey, I know this town. I go there, I'm on the board of the university, I give the university, I'm going back there. I see an opportunity that we could buy this or build an apartment complex for college students or for people coming out of college, maybe working at the university. So it's interesting going back to the path can be right in front of you. It's things you know and the opportunities that you see are there. But I think it's important that things you know. If this person knew nothing about this town and went there, what's the point? You might not know about it. It might be a lot of risk, but it is interesting to see that what it led to for him. And now he has a nice portfolio of many apartment complexes, which is pretty incredible to see. I think he's got over 100 million in his real estate portfolio, which is great. But it's just one step at a time that's right there. And sometimes the path is laid in front of you. But I think it's really good advice that you give there, that don't sway too much from either what you know in your industry or the type of investment you're into, your local area, or areas that you personally know, because there's a lot of validity in that. Like for me, I've been to Hawaii a couple of times. I don't know anything about outside of that, being a tourist in Waikiki Beach or being a Maui. It's, you know about it because you're there. Things. So what you know, I think is really great, just a really great tip for everybody.
Yeah. And one thing I would also too, don't discount, because it sounds like what he did and what you've done too is being able to leverage, let's say, something that's popular in a different market that may not be wherever your local market is, may not have as much exposure to. So like you said, when you guys first moved, hey, clients were interested. Hey, what are those big city firms doing? Those big market firms doing? And it sounds like he probably identified some things working in a bigger market. And then he was like, oh, look, I think we have opportunity in the smaller market that I'm familiar with. That's my unfair advantage. I see the opportunity, and don't discount that. And even it could be something as simple as, hey, we took a trip and man, I saw this really innovative way that they were doing whatever, XYZ. Okay, great. Maybe you don't have that in your hometown, and now there's an opportunity for you to be able to leverage that. But always, okay, it could just be something as simple as identifying some inefficiency in the way that the current market, wherever you are, is operating. Okay, bring value that way.
I think that's one of the best ones. We live in a college town. That's what got us here. My wife's brother is playing baseball here. They're top 10 baseball school. And it's a small town. And we got to know some people in town, especially in real estate, which my brother-in-law, the family he married into, is a big real estate family here. And as these universities grow, they just run out of room for students in the dorms. A lot of universities now, I have a freshman in college now, and freshmen can be in the dorms. They want them in the dorms, get the campus experience. There's no room for sophomores, juniors, seniors. There's none. So there became a trend of, hey, why don't we cover the need? There's a gap of where these college kids can go. So let's build a nice apartment complex not too far from campus. We can house these people. So it's nice when you see a gap and it helps the community or it helps other people. I think it's really great. There's been some incredible return on investments here in our little town in Eastern North Carolina on real estate. And it's really tied to the opportunity of there's all these college students. There's not enough places for them to live. So let's help them out and give them places to live. It's a win-win for everybody. These apartments are really nice and it's pretty lucrative business. It's pretty lucrative business there. I like that too, your aspect of just finding that gap. And a lot of great businesses do that, hey, this is a gap and let me insert myself here and do this. But I think if there's good in it, some good intentions, and it helps either locally, it helps the community, or it helps an industry, that there's a gap in this industry, I'm going to fix this and insert it. It's incredible. There's so many massive businesses that have done that, but just going back to, they're probably around. Just got to look at a different lens around either your industry, what you're into, or your area, because the answers are usually right there.
Yeah, 100%. Like that, we are talking about opportunities that entrepreneurs and business owners and whatnot can take advantage of to find success in their business. You've obviously coached a bunch of different clients. What are some common pitfalls that you might see that investors or business owners struggle with, or you've helped maybe navigate through?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing I've seen, and it's very common with entrepreneurs. So this growth model that you mentioned at the beginning, I based how we help businesses in the financial industry diagnose their constraints. This theory comes from manufacturing theory constraints. And if there's a bunch of steps in, let's say, building a vehicle, what I see a lot of entrepreneurs do, especially financial advisors, they're like, hey, I just need more clients and more practice acquisitions. It'll solve all my problems. But I know that if they're not getting a lot of organic growth, there's something's up in what they're delivering or what their fulfillment is with clients. When I peel the onion back further, I find the first constraint that they're not paying attention to is capacity. So most owners, founders end up getting too much on their plate. And if they're the growth engine, the business is clogged up. It's the biggest thing that we see. And then the other part we see that really influences profitability, the other side of capacity, is if you're going to invest in a who, one of my favorite books is Who Not How. If you're going to invest in a who, you need to generate a return on the who. So leveraging the capacity of other people is the key. In the financial advisor business, the average advisor working for another business is managing over $1 million in revenue. And so what we see a lot of times is that they're not. An advisor will say, I'm going to dump all my small clients on this new advisor and hope they make it. Whereas, fine, owner got freer, that's fine, but you're never going to generate a profit margin. Up with smaller clients in this person. How can they manage $1 million plus, pay them industry average rates? You have a massive profit margin. In the big 8-figure, 9-figure firms we work with, that's all they figured out, is that there's scale in this profit margin and leveraging the capacity of other people. I don't have to do everything myself. I just need to have some system that people can follow and be successful, and then we can scale the heck out of this. But it's so interesting that people come to us to like, I just want to grow. Like all the people we've helped grow, you've helped people 10x, 20x, 100x. We've done it. It's been really fun doing it, but they're just working on the wrong things. They just want the shiny new objects. They just want the growth. But really, the real opportunity is to be more profitable and have a better business or optimizing what they do with clients and really having the foundation of scale. So I think about it as building a house or building a building. These scale fundamentals like capacity, what's the structure of the business, it's like the foundation that you build upon. So if there's cracks there, stuff's going to fall through, especially as you put more weight on it. The first floor is what you do with clients, client optimization. So everyone wants to start building the second floor. It's all the cool growth things we can do. And that's some of my favorite stuff. How do you organically attract ideal clients? How do you do inorganic other business acquisitions, practice acquisitions? I love that stuff. Some of my favorite topics, but you got to have a real strong foundation and an extremely strong first floor. Because if you do, that's also the foundations to profitability. If you have really great revenue per team member, above average revenue per client, you can build floors as high as you want. You can really go through it, but it's really those constraints that hold so many businesses back. And I just see they're focusing on the wrong things. So if they can just take a second and say, you know what, let me just fix this constraint, it unlocks a lot of stuff. They fix this constraint, unlocks a lot of stuff. You know what, then the growth things just happen. Sometimes they happen by accident, but you can be a lot better if you're doing it. So for example, if you're really good at optimizing what you do with clients and you buy another business, like a retiring financial advisor, you buy their business, guess what? You probably double the revenue of that business in a year because it's probably not optimized. And nothing against the sellers. They've probably been on an exit ramp for 2-3 years. They've probably been on their way out. So our industry is pretty old. I'm turning 50 this year, and I feel like the youngest dude at every conference I've been going to for 27 years. There's the average age of advisors a little over 60. There's a lot going to be getting out. There's going to be a big shortage of advisors in the financial advisor industry, same like the CPA tax advice industry. But to be a good buyer, you've got to have those foundations of scale. You got to have that foundations of client optimization. Then once you're really good at those, that's the fastest growing practices, but also the most profitable practices. So that's the key. Then you can build so much profits. It's, gosh, we can buy businesses cash. We can do passive private equity investments, or you know what? We're going to go buy apartment complexes now. So we have so much extra cash. The cup has spilled over. Going back to the first thing, the cup has spilled over so much. Now we have a lot of different options and we can decide what we're going to do with all the excess.
Yeah, no, actually, there's a few different things there that you talked about. I actually love your analogy, and this might be relatable to our real estate people that are tuning in, but talking about building out that strong foundation, like how it's going to be set up for a certain level of growth. If you think about, okay, look, a 2-story apartment building, like maybe it's student housing, maybe it's an apartment building or whatever. If it's that foundation for 2 floors worth of units is going to be built to a certain level. Okay, great, no problem. If it's built only for those 2 floors, no worries. But if you're trying to, Dr. John, yeah, I want to build out this $100 million company. Okay, now you're trying to build a 50-story building. And is that 50-story building set up with the right type of foundation? It's going to need a different foundation than that 2-story walk-up apartment complex. So, or a 2-story house. It's a different setup. And so you need to go back, revisit, all right, what am I trying to build? Do I even have those right systems in place? Is my foundation solid in order to scale to where I'd like to go?
Yes.
And so it's like, all right, if it's not, then let me revisit the way that we've been doing things. Start with the end in mind kind of deal. And I know that's common advice.
Yeah.
But I love that imagery that you're using in terms of foundation and building for what you're trying to actually move towards.
And I think it happens every industry. So many people I just want to start building on the second, third, and 10th floor because that's the fun, exciting stuff. But yeah, pouring concrete down the foundation's pretty boring. But you know what? That's what holds the tall buildings that are in downtown Honolulu, right?
Oh yeah, I actually thought this is long before I was in real estate, but one of the most interesting things that I had, and it just stands out to me now, talking about building, let's say 100-story high rise. I was in Chicago years ago, and they were building one right along the waterfront, and I was so impressed because you could actually see, man, they dug down so deep to pour that foundation to be able to support that building that was going to be a skyscraper. And that's literally the level of effort that it can take in order to develop a business. And I totally get it too. Just how you were saying, I think everybody does it. Hey, I want proof of concept. Hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to get this thing up and running. And that probably works for the first few floors. But it's like, you're going to hit a certain level where it's like, okay, these systems that we did have in place can't support where we need to go. So let's reevaluate this business. And this is why it's helpful to have somebody like Dr. Jon here. All right, hey, let's take a look under the hood here. What are you working with? Is there ways that we can help you to optimize? Or are there opportunities that you maybe missed along the way because you were excited and you're growing? And cool, great. That worked for a season. But now if you're trying to enter into this new season, all right, let's reevaluate. Let's look at a few different things. Let me help you optimize this. Let me look at some things maybe you didn't see so that we can get you to the next level.
Yeah. And it's fun helping people. You get this with helping people with in real estate, that you've done it, you see so much with other people, it's repeatable patterns that you start to see that, okay, here's the formula for how to do it. And that's been fun. It's been fun in our industry formulating the formula of here's how the fastest people have done it. And we've done it. We've helped a ton of people do it. And now they just grow faster and faster because we have even more shortcuts that we show them how to really grow and how to scale. And we have real estate people ask us, hey, would you show us how to scale our business? I'm like, no, we're not there yet. We're just super niched on our independent financial advisors, RAs that really want to grow and scale and 10X. That's it. And there's a small number of them. We still got more to help. That's all we're doing there. But when you do a lot of it and you see a lot of it, it is easy to see those patterns. You start to see those common things that are gaps, and they're just glaring. So it's easy for us. We put on workshops about every 2 weeks for financial advisors just looking to grow and scale. And it's super low cost. We get a lot of people come in and do them, and we can diagnose them in 2 seconds because we see all the same things. They go through a little worksheet and they fill this out. We can see all their issues in seconds. Oh, right here, because of this, I bet it means that. They're like, oh my gosh, how'd you know that? Right here is probably this. And oh my gosh, how'd you know that? It's like a mentalist or something, but it's not. It's in the data. It's in its basic data numbers, and we see the trends all the time. So many people just have the same issue, and you can pinpoint it early on and then show them, hey, here's the path out of it. And it's right here. So in building the foundation, you need it poured to build that next floor. You don't have to have a 100-story skyscraper level of foundation built to start a business by yourself, but you build it as you grow, and you almost have to stay just ahead of where you're going to grow to. Otherwise, like I said earlier, the cracks will show, right? And clients, revenue, whatever your business is, stuff starts to fall through, the quality starts to diminish, and that becomes a problem.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like that, like how you to your point there, you're going to see the same things over and over. I would network with a ton of people. We've hosted a networking event here locally for the last 6 years, and then just having countless conversations with people over the years. You see the same things. It's not rocket science, guys. But I think the challenge is also a lot of people, and I've realized this, the value of community, the value of connection, the value of coaching. It's so important. And I know a lot of people, especially if you're starting, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to. They can really, Dr. Jon just mentioned it. It's, hey, we have these few different shortcuts that we can give to you because they've evaluated hundreds of other clients. You see the same things over and over. Hey, guess what? I see that in your business too. Can I help give you the next 5 shortcuts so that you can avoid the problems that the last 100 guys dealt with?
It's worth it. It's so worth it. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Pay Alex Ramosi a lot of money. It's very worth it. It's just they've seen so much. They've done it themselves. They've seen so much. Like, here's the formula. Sure. Oh my gosh, I was a dumbass and just didn't even see this, and just laid it out for me. It's so simple, and it's just do these things, and it works. It really does. It's fun. I think for a lot of people though, it's like the challenge is they're the first ones that are maybe stepping out, let's say in business. They're not surrounded by other entrepreneurs necessarily. Oh, I'm the first one in my family. I'm the first one in my,
in my circle of friends, my network that is stepping out to something new. And so they don't have that experience. They don't have those people to turn to. Guys, there's wisdom in, hey, your network is your net worth. If you're surrounding yourself with other successful people, guess what? They can probably have input on what it is that you're doing, and you'll likely be successful too. Don't be in a silo where you're hey, I'm the smartest guy in the room, because that's an ego thing. I'm the most successful guy in the room. Don't be that way. Again, you want to have that posture of being a perpetual learner. Be around other people that, okay, man, all right. Hey, Dr. John, I have a pretty successful business, but what holes do you see here? Is there ways that we can improve this? That takes some humility, guys.
It does. But you know what? The best people who improve faster are willing to do that.
Yes.
In the room someone said to me once, if you're the most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yep. You're probably not going to learn in that room. You need to get in a different room and learn.
Yep.
And being vulnerable it's a great quality for those who learn fast. I heard a wonderful interview with the basketball coach, Mike Krzyzewski.
Yep.
And I think it was on this Netflix documentary around, not the Dream Team, not the first time they went to Olympics and US dominated. It was the Redeem Team with Kobe. When they came back, they won the medal again. But Coach K was a college coach. They had Christian Lake, one player that was college, one college coach. And everyone was like the all-stars of the NBA and the all-star coaches. And what he said was remark about Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever in the game, is in a way that Michael welcomed Coach K, is Michael said, I want to get better at this thing. I know you can help me. Would you help me with this? The greatest player in the world saying, you know what? I know you can help. Would you please help me with this? And Coach K jumped right in and said, hey, you can do this, you can do that, and helped him. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm better. Let's work on that again tomorrow. I really need to get better at this when we hit the Olympics. It's so great to hear the best of the best do that. So you've got to be vulnerable and say, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. But it is, how do I get better? How do I constantly get better? So if someone's, I'm the king of the world, they're probably not going to get better. But I think an interesting form of intelligence is learning and applying it and growing quickly through that. That, hey, I learned I got this gap and I can cover it. And the quicker I cover it, the better I'll be. And you work through that and you find the next thing, you'll work through it. And it's fun working with other entrepreneurs because the fastest growing people are that way. They're like, hey, I know things are going pretty well. How can they be better? What are you seeing? Diagnose me, rip apart my business, make it better. And those people grow the fastest. They just do. They really do.
100%. And I think it's interesting, like right now when we're recording, we've got the Olympics going on, and it's okay. It's easy to see the brilliance on display. Okay. But I think we're so dismissive. We'll gladly watch our heroes. We'll gladly watch Jordan or Brady or the best of the best in sports. Guys, everybody on that field has had physical training coaches, mental coaches, strategy coaches. They've got so many coaches and input into their life to be able to be peak performers. So why do we think that's not necessary for us? And it's a quick takeaway. We're okay with that and seeing our heroes do it. But I think too often we're dismissive when it comes time for us to be in that hot seat.
Yeah. And it's cool to see the best athletes in the world, these Olympic Games. Oh my gosh, it's incredible what they do. But there's a lot of coaches around them. It's like a whole team of coaches around them that are for their craft, very tactical. You're right, strength coaches, mental conditioning, psychologists,
nutrition, you name it.
There's so much. It's like a whole team around them. And so what it takes to be the best in the world. It's the best in the world people there. It's incredible to see. But I think it's a great point you make, and a great lesson for any listener, whether you're in business or want to do music or acting, whatever your thing is. It's, surround yourself with people. A lot of the best businesses we work with, they're working with 3 or 4 different coaches, just these peak athletes, just because they're just getting help with, maybe not gaps, but just areas that they want to improve on. And it helps. The more help you get, the better you're going to get, and the faster you'll get better.
100%. Dr. John, this is a point in our show where we transition to something we call our fire round, just a little bit more rapid fire, brief Q&A. He's right in the pump there. He's ready to go.
These are fun. I love doing these on podcast, and I look forward to your questions.
Right. First question, what is the best book that you recommend other than your own? Of course, I know you've got your own book, so feel free to throw that one up there as well. And,
my favorite, 10X, easier than 2X.
There you go.
Oh, right, great learning there. Great learning.
Yeah, very good. Very good. All right, next question. What do you consider your superpower to be?
I think optimism. Even in a rainy day, gloomy lights, I'm always showing up with high energy, like we're going to make it great. I talked to someone yesterday. I was like, this happened. I said, you know what? We're going to turn around. This is the opportunity to get even better. And you're going to look back and say a year from now, I think it's helped me through life and it's helped other people that I'm around to.
Yeah, PMA, like positive mental attitude. It's an underrated superpower because it's something you can apply, but it does take practice. Some people are more naturally disposed. I can tell you're more of a brighter guy. And some people, it's okay, maybe their natural demeanor is not quite as there, like in energy level or whatever, but it's like, that's an extra, that is, you can work that out. And whether you think you're going to be successful, it's like, you're right, whether or not you believe that, it'll be right either way. So go into it with a positive attitude. I love that. That is a superpower. All right, next question. If you had a time machine, and you could go back to visit 20-year-old Jon, what advice do you have for him?
I love our time in New York, but I convinced my wife and I to move down here quicker because we had a start over, and I wish I had the things I knew now of do more of this, do more of that early on. It's funny, you just look back at being a novice at anything. You really don't know, and you figure it out along the way. But I wouldn't change anything about my life. My wife and I, it's been an incredible journey. I learned so much my years in New York, so much. I was around incredible people. I felt like I got 20 years of experience in the 5 years I was there. But I would go back, and when you start over, get there quicker, do these things, and just accelerate even faster than it would have. That's the only thing I would do.
Awesome. All right, very good, very good. All right, then the last question, what's the biggest lesson you've learned over your career thus far?
You know what? Be a good person and help other people. Someone said this, that only the people behind you will be the only ones that try and tear you down. It's a small world, whatever industry you're in, it's an even smaller world. And so just be a good person, help others. It comes back around. I've seen people trying to hurt others, and karma will come back. It really does. So make a difference in the world, help other people, whatever it is, what you do. To me, it's so important. It's the biggest thing I've learned, and big returns come from that when you don't even expect it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. No, I love that. I love that. If our audience wants to reach out to you, they want to connect more with you, how can they do that? What's the best methods for them to do that?
Easiest way is our website. It's xfa.coach, short for Extraordinary Financial Advisors. But at xfa.coach, there's some free stuff, and there's also information about those workshops that I mentioned that we put on. They're like 10 to 3. We do them about every other week. They're really fun to do. Advisors come out of there with identifying their constraints, really learning what are their growth opportunities. They come out of there with a roadmap of, okay, here's how I can grow faster. And if they want, they can get some help from implementation with us and our team. But we're just happy to do it. Our mission's to create a better industry. The financial advisor industry sometimes has a bad reputation because it's just clogged up and some advisors aren't great. We're trying to help the best of the best advisors get even better, grow even faster, but do it right. Yeah, xva.coach, get some free stuff, check out a workshop. It's fun.
Awesome. Awesome. Dr. Jon, I greatly appreciate you hopping on with me today, and I've enjoyed our conversation. And yeah, I look forward to circling back with you and maybe in the future and getting an update on seeing where you are with your business, and hopefully your college grads and for your kids. And well, it doesn't have to be that long, but yeah, no, thanks. Best wishes to you. And I appreciate you coming on with me today and our listeners.
Thanks, Steve. Keep the podcast going. It's awesome. Look forward to hearing more episodes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much. Aloha. All right. Great conversation with Dr. Jon Randall over with XF. A good conversation with him. He obviously does coaching with XFA for people who are in the financial industry. If you're looking to grow your business and you're in that sector, he's a great guy to talk to. But I feel like just in general, just his experience coaching so many people and being around so many high-level entrepreneurs, you've got insight that you glean, right? Like he mentioned that it's okay, look, you identify patterns with people and how they run their businesses. And he's got so much wisdom, even just being around so many other people. So I would highly encourage you guys to do that as well. So if you want to do that and you're here local in Honolulu, we have a meetup that we host every month, Honolulu Multifamily and More, and we'd love to meet you. I've had so many people comment whenever they attend, is, wow, I don't have people around me like this. I need other people who are investors, who are entrepreneurs, who want to better level up their lives, level up their family life, their business life, their real estate investing life, and they just don't have people around them to do that. This is a safe space where you can do that. So we'd love to see you out on the next meetup if you're here or if you're traveling out here. If you guys also want to connect with us and our company, you go to tricityequity.com to learn more about our previous projects and maybe how we can help you out. You can schedule a call with somebody on our team. We'd love to meet you. And guys, if you're finding value in the podcast, share, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star rating. We'd love to be able to continue to grow the show. And that's the only way we could do that, is if we've got good feedback from you guys and know that you guys are finding value. So we really appreciate that. Go out and take some action, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Aloha.